Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Ever want to know how Pong turns into Grand Theft Auto? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome everyone to October 1982. How do we know? Because we just got this in the mail. It's the latest issue of Videogaming Illustrated, and we are going to check it out and read through it right now. We've already read plenty of magazines, checked out a few different magazines, and this is the latest. This is Videogaming Illustrated, a very well done magazine, if I do say so myself. Front cover has football on the front. Sports and video games, I guess they still are a thing. Let's see what's going on with the latest issue of Videogaming Illustrated. It says we're going to meet the original Donkey Kong. I'm not sure what that's about. We're also going to play the world's most difficult maze game, and I think we've already done that here on the show. We have the arcade sensation they will play at home, and then they have Isaac Asimov, the Isaac Asimov in the magazine. Let's see what that's all about. And let's flip it over and see what's going on in Videogaming Illustrated. On the left, we got an ad for Night Shift, which I am not familiar with. And you remember that? Ron Howard and Harry Winkler? It must have been a movie that came out at the time. And over here on the right side is Coleco. Here's all the cartridges that are out for your ColecoVision. We've played everything on the ColecoVision so far, except we haven't seen Turbo and Mousetrap. Those are the two that we'll be seeing very soon. But everything else here, we've already played on the show. This is, I would say, the top console. And I understand why, comparing it to all the other consoles that are available right now. No way it is, Manly. Oh, man. I won't take your word for that one. All right, let's flip on to the next page. It's like a treasure trove of October 1982. On the left is the movie sensation that all the gamers love and every single magazine, at least in North America, has, which is Tron. And there it is, the joystick for the arcade version. A fantastic game, 5 stars all the way. Over here on the right side is the table of contents. We're not really going to go over the table of contents because we're going to be seeing the entire magazine. Let's flip on to the next page. And over on the left is what they call the keyboard section. And this is just the editorial done by Ben Bova, editor of Omni magazine. And he goes into talk at great lengths about arcades and how the current idea of arcades are they're centers for drinking, drug abuse, and devil worship. Because we did all that when we went to the arcades too. Not likely. So an interesting read of someone that is in the time where people are claiming that's what arcade centers are like, and he is debunking that. So it's great to hear it now when we can look back on that. Yes, chiptune it better as well. Over on the right side is their preview of things to look out for in the future. They start with Texas Instruments with their current spokesman, Bill Cosby, or spokesperson Bill Turner is the one that includes the editorial about why you should buy the TI-99 4A. I know why you shouldn't buy it because the name is just terrible. Who names a computer the TI-99 4A? Sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of programming on that. No, it did not. And we'll probably see plenty of ads that are like that here. Over here at the top, there is the TI-99 4A. We've had a few fans that have wrote into the show that's asked for more games on the TI-99. Well, one of them is the preservation of that computer isn't as well done as a lot of other systems out for the time. That's one reason why we're not playing as many games. But a lot of the games that are available on other computers are available for TI-99 4A. We have played the exclusives, like some of the really good ones for that computer. That's great. And here's an ad for how your system, if you have the old or original Atari VCS, keep them, especially if you have a game like Pitfall. So good. It's still fantastic. All right, let's keep going. On more Ion. What else is happening out there? Mega Mania, another one that is, I would say, an okay shooter for the time. And then we got, yes, all the other games that Apollo's been doing, like Lockjaw, Space Cavern, Shark Attack, Cosmic Combat. Yeah, so other titles that are available on the Atari home computer or Atari VCS. And then we have, yeah, lots of different companies too. Like this one is CBS. They call it the corporate giant, and how they're going to start making some entries into video games. What's the latest that CBS would be doing? Because we do have a CBS video game publisher that's out there right now. but they're just publishing games on the Atari in Europe, so not something for North America. And then over here's a picture of, is this how they're going to cover the video gamer of the future will look? And yes, that's how we look today, like one of the aliens from Star Trek. So it's a lot of things to look out for of what's going to happen in the future, but some of this is like they're giving previews of what the other articles will be, like the one by Isaac Asimov too. Yeah, I want to see if they tell us the future of the video games we're going to see before we end the year. Like the ones by Mystique. It's going to get scary. All right, and over here we have a member of the comic book team, the Atari Force, which I believe we've seen every issue that's included within the cartridges that the Atari VCS had. Defender, Berserk, all of them escape me right now, but yeah, they're out there. And then we got the Captain Video. that's awesome. Captain Video. I am not familiar with Captain Video. You can see here he's like a dressed up mascot, poised atop the games of his LA arcade. Awesome. I wonder if this is all way before cosplay and dressing up for conventions, but that would be a good one. Very nice. All right, let's go ahead and flip to the next one. Even more things to look forward to, or things to look up of what's going to be big right now. They have a little spiel here about comic books, and look down here in the bottom left. It's a front cover of Mad Magazine doing Mad Invaders. It's pretty cool seeing Mad Magazine make fun of it. So you can you can see the influence of Space Invaders on that. It's so cool. Yeah, it does kind of look like Buck Rogers, that mascot. All right, over here we have the high-scoring person that put in the last issue of Video Game Magazine, the high score for Pac-Man. It's now been beaten again. The current high score is 3,183,440 points for Pac-Man, at least right now in October of 1982. And then we also have, you can see other scores, Asteroids, Missile Command, Battle Zone, and Centipede. And then we got another article about the Fairchild Channel F, which is essentially dead. And this article is just talking about the past, reminiscing of the past. Over there in the top right is where you can see Alien Invasion. That was the last game that we've played here on the show by the Fairchild Channel F. I don't know if the homebrew scene is that big on this home console. We are going to see moving forward all these computers and consoles that we play, they're not dead. A lot of these consoles, even when we play the last commercial release, they're still going to be publishing and creating games for these systems. But Fairchild Channel F, I don't think so. It's kind of like people that are making games for the Sinclair ZX80. You're not going to see a huge following of people for that. And then we have different things on Tron. Over here on the right side, they're going to break down everything that happens inside of video games and what they're all about. And we've seen this on a few magazines too, like what's a CPU, what's RAM, and they just talk about that on this article. Very, very nice. They don't really crack anything open on this one. And they're bringing up some of the standalone Coleco tabletops, handhelds. And over on the right, there's the Bally Astrocade, or I think they currently call it the Videocade. Nice. Let's keep going. Next is what the front cover is all about. This is Jay Saldi on the Dallas Cowboys. Jay Saldi not only plays football, but he owns his own arcade, and there it is. Jay Saldi's Game Land. So they're interviewing a professional sports player that owns an arcade and his take on video games. So a cool read on what at this time, what he would like, someone who's a video gamer. Is he also into only sports games, or is he into other games as well? Like, what's the best thing that you can play at his arcade? Yeah, so like, what's the most popular game at Cowboy Jay's? And he says Donkey Kong, and I wouldn't disagree with him there. Donkey Kong is tops, but Defender is close. They also ask him what his favorite arcade game is, and he'd say Defender. And he says he's not very good. He says there's a kid here called Defender Dan that in his arcade that plays 2-minute break every hour and scored 30 million points. That's crazy. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, DK is #1. So lots of good questions in the article there. Moving on is the next article by Isaac Asimov, which looks like he's the spokesperson, I believe, for the TRS-80 color computer. Yeah, there we go. So we haven't seen any ads, commercial ads, that Isaac Asimov is in. If anyone knows if they were out there, I'd love to put them on the show, but most of the ads we've seen with Isaac Asimov have been here in magazines or articles. Love it. I know, right? That's what makes Isaac Asimov the man. And it's cool that they're giving a little bit of attention to the Tandy Radio Shack, because some of these magazines that cover everything, including home computers, usually are sticking to the Apple II or the Atari home computer. All right, let's flip on to the next page. Yeah, this is more about what Isaac Asimov sees as the future. And then we have on the right is Super Gaming. I don't know. I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, turn the page and discover the wonders of stroblasting. What in the world is that? We showed you how to make your video game sound like the Norse gods clashing in Ragnarok. This issue had a dash of lightning of the scintillating effect called stroblasting, which is, I guess, another way to play games. Yeah, it's triggering strobes. That's so funny. Imagine trying to enhance your video game with strobe lights. That's awesome. And then we got to add another ad for Tron. We've already played quite a bit, and coming up this week on Chronologically Gaming, we'll be playing the latest Tron video game on the Mattel Intellivision. Let's flip on to the next one. Even more. What is this, a comparison? Look, we got side by side, left and right of the graphics in Tron. But yeah, it's more about the movie. Everyone's raving about it, and we have more and more magazines that continue to talk about it. Look at that, how they did the graphics, and we even had in one of the magazines we read about how the Atari home computer assisted with the sound and sound effects, which is kind of nice. if you're into that, hopefully you don't have any seizures watching Tron. But yeah, there is flashing lights, which I always say on the show, if you're sensitive to flashing lights here on Chronologically Gaming, we're in October 1982. You probably should be watching another channel, or at least wait a few years, and then we'll catch up and not have so much strobe lights in our video games. All right, coming up next is How to Conquer Space Cavern, which I'm amazed that they want to talk about How to Conquer Space Cavern. I believe this is the one by Apollo on your Atari, and I've never seen this artwork for Space Cavern before. Look at this. Space Caverns. But they give you some tips and tricks on how to play. Yeah, it's the using your ray pistol to shoot. Yeah, there's just 3 different skill levels. Look at this detailed information of how to play the game, when the manuals usually have a few tips and tricks too. But Space Cavern's all right. It's bare bones like a run and gun, or what we would consider a run and gun video game. But check out the links down below of all the games we've ever played, and you can see us play Space Cavern. And then over here is Conquering Pickaxe Pete. I would love to know how to conquer Pickaxe Pete. It's still a really well done platformer, and on the Magnavox Odyssey 2. We also saw it in Europe on the Philips Video Pack. But what makes Pickaxe Pete amazing is the platforming actually feels really good. It feels like you have more maneuverability than Mario or other platformers, because you actually control the character in midair a little bit better, instead of just dropping like a sack of potatoes. Okay, so next is Space Battle. And again, this is tips and tricks on how to beat it. Space Battle was the one we played on Mattel Intellivision. Hey, look, there's the overlay down here. Nice. This is the one they brought to the Atari VCS on M Network as well. Coming up next is Arcadia, and I believe this is about the... Oh, no, about arcades, coin-operated different things. So it's not about the company. With Pac-Man gobbling everything around them, Donkey Kong raining barrels on their heads. Pinball is dead. No way, they can't say that. Pinball isn't dead. I'm sure some people could. Here on the show, we don't play anything mechanical or pinball, but it's still out there. It's still going on right now. Look at this. So there you go. There's some pinball cabinets of what's happening right now. Pac-Man pinball over in the top. Pretty soon, we're going to be coming across Baby Pac-Man, which is a combination, video game and pinball. I'm hoping to find a simulator that we can get to showcase that on the show and collect all the Pac-Man games. It did look like the Black Knight, mainly. The Black Knight always triumphs. Next is an ad we've already seen from magazines. I've already spoke about Star Strike. Not a super big fan. The visuals is really what sells this one, but the gameplay really didn't do too much to push it over the edge. But it is in television. It is very good for in television, and is one of the ways that they sold the graphics when George Plimpton was advertising it. Keep flipping on. Here's some more pinball cabinets from the same article. Do they have... Is this Baby? No, that's Pac Mate. That's another one. So I don't think we're going to see it here. It'll be brand new whenever we play it in the middle of October, 1982. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, eventually we'll be able to catch Professor Pac-Man, but haven't seen it yet. And then we have some art. Look at this. Pixel art, too. Nice. Rare to see for pinball cabinets, but that's pretty cool. And then Alleyway, which is an ad about just arcade owners that were into pinball, and that's all they had, and now having to make the switch to video games if they wanted more mechanical. Over here on the right side is the Astrocade. Bally is not on... Yeah, Bally's not on this anymore. The original is called the Bally Astrocade, but now it's the Videocade. The Astrocade Videocade. It's another one of those home consoles, but not pushing as heavy as the Atari, Odyssey 2, or the Intellivision, or obviously the ColecoVision. But it's pushing, it's trying its best. It's adding more and more games to the market, which will eventually just get really big. All right, flipping over to the next page. By the way, the best game I'd say right now you could play that you can't play anywhere else is The Incredible Wizard on the Astrocade. That's the killer app. All right, let's flip to the next one. Oh, nice. How to Conquer Donkey Kong. And I believe they're talking about the arcade one, right? Nice artwork. I like the giant King Kong, or not King Kong, if you don't want to get sued. Yeah, there we go. Donkey Kong. King Kong and Donkey Kong slug it out for cultural immortality. Helping poor Mario in his pursuit of the Shaggy Menace. That's funny. And this just goes into the more tips and tricks on how to beat Donkey Kong. So cool. All right, so over here on the side, yeah, look at this. They break down all the screens, and it is all four, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, and then, yeah, the Pie Factory, which only is available in the arcade unless you're playing Donkey King, not an official Donkey Kong, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to talk about that here in the magazine. And then we got Frogger, Coming Home by Parker Brothers on the Atari VCS. And we've already played that one, and we've already played the official Frogger for home computers, or at least Atari home computer. It's actually not too weird, because the only time we saw him named Mario, or the first time we ever saw him named Mario, was the Game & Watch Donkey Kong. That actually called him Mario. But everything before that, we saw him as the Brave Carpenter. And Jumpman's pretty cool that they called him that. I like that. All right, let's flip on to the next page. Oh, so cool, Turbo. And this one's the one on ColecoVision. Or maybe they're talking about the arcade. Let's see. It's the arcade. It's not the ColecoVision one. But that one's great. The beginning of superscalar technology in the arcade. Why the artwork, though? This is not the car you're driving in Turbo. It's really funny. I never thought I was driving something from the 30s or 40s for Turbo. And then here they find an actor. They interview him and talk about with video games. This is Robert Culp. Yes, how he feels about science fiction in video games. I don't think... There's not too much here that he raves about. At this point, this is still kind of niche. There he is with the superhero Ralph Hinckley. Another way you could dress up in Comic-Con if you want to do something really obscure. Flipping on over. Here we go. We got some more words from celebrities. Here's what Christopher Reeve says about video games. Those Pong games are just awful. Why not read a book instead? Maybe I'm a card-carrying snob, but reading lets you linger on ideas that are worthwhile. Think about what's between the lines. People just die on the vine before TV's blinking light. That's Christopher Reeve right now. And then Chevy Chase says, our world is in such a culture lag at the moment due to the ever-present electronic media. I think it's terrible to see kids continually playing those stupid Ataris. I think it's sad that they don't go outside and do the same stuff with their bodies, but who knows? Perhaps their reflexes will be better. Ultimately, their minds sharper, eyes work better. And if that's the case, we might as well put an Atari in the uterus and hope for the best. That's Chevy Chase. And then Mel Brooks is really, really quick. His is, video games are not for us. They're here to entertain the television. Very poignant. And then down here are games for your personal computer. But you got to love that. Right now, when they talk to celebrities, there's really not a lot of celebrities that are raving about video games, at least what we've seen in magazines. This is one about air traffic controller, and we've already seen a few air traffic controller games. This one's for the the Apple II by Creative Computing. Okay, yeah, nice. And then online games, yes, Network and Atari. I believe we've already seen. Yeah, we've seen one of the ads for this where you could get games from your phone cable. That's just insane. So cool that it's around here. All right, let's flip on to the next page. There it is, Space Cavern, the one they just had the tips and tricks for. Here's the ad, and we've already seen this in this article in other magazines. All right, so here's the original Donkey Kong, and they're trying to just, I guess, market on the fact that Donkey Kong's out there. He's one of the best ones, and where they got the inspiration from. I believe right now they are still battling out in the court of Universal versus Nintendo. All right, let's keep flipping to the next one. Yeah, you can see where the inspiration came from, giving us some examples of, King Kong, magazine superheroes fighting giant gorillas. And then over here is the follow-up from some other articles like the Space Battle Continued, how to build your own strobe blaster, which if that's out there, now I want to look this up if someone did this and if we can find someone playing video games with the strobe blaster. Sweet. All right, let's keep flipping to the next page. That's so cool. Blade Runner Souvenir Magazine. Because we're kind of infatuated with Tron here on the show since it's video game related, Blade Runner is another one of those really, really big movie hits that influenced gaming as well. Right now, Koji Kondo and the Japanese developers are watching Blade Runner. Like Hideo Kojima is watching Blade Runner and thinking about all the games that he wanted to do. Or I believe he wanted to start with movies, but it's just funny to think of right now that's what it is. Yeah, Brian, they're not going to lose that case thanks to John Kirby. I forget his first name, but yeah, the lawyer that helped him out with that lawsuit. All right, then we got the ad for the Conquering Video Games book. We'll just flip to the next one after that. And then they're going to continue some other articles, including the Turbo one. Here's a picture of the Turbo arcade cabinet. Fantastic. Excellent, excellent racing game. Yeah, that's the one, Brian. And then over here on the right side, we got some more screenshots of Turbo. I played this one twice on the show because the first time we weren't getting the sound emulated correctly, but it is one of the best racing games. That and Pole Position are the tops right now. And then over here is, the Turbo sit-down cabinet. That's the way to go if you're going to do it. Started all with Monaco GP as racing game and then topping another racing game in the arcade. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Welcome, Card Trick. Let's flip it on to the next page. We got some more answers for the sports celebrity from this issue. Television football is Jay Saldi, I believe that, there he is. He's talking about this one up at the top is the Intellivision one. And then down here is a comic for Pac-Man. Nice. Because Pac-Man's taking over. And then here's how we can order more issues of Videogaming Illustrated. And then we have even more continued for keeping your eye on things. Magnavox Odyssey 2, where it's going to go. And we are going to see a few more games, but some of the biggest and best games were the ones that were like the Quest for the Rings. Kind of a throwback to the original Odyssey. That was one of the best for the Magnavox Odyssey 2. And then we have the sequel to Casey Munchkin that we've already seen on the show, Casey's Crazy Chase. That one was in adding voice and effects to the game. It was still essentially a top-down maze game, but Casey Munchkin, still one of the best ones to play. Yeah. Nice. Then we have Pac-Man down here. It's awesome. And they have lots of different comic strips of video game culture. It's great seeing it right now. And that's why I like checking out these magazines, because reading and looking at this really gets you in the feeling of what it was like to be a gamer, because not everyone was involved in this. You could actually be part of this community reading the magazine, getting caught up with the latest trends. We'll flip on to the next one, and we have a Robert Redford video game. Well, I'm laughing. Warner Communications said that they're going to get one on CBS Bally Venture. Wow. Universal Pictures, 21st Century Fox. Getting a Robert Redford video game probably didn't come to life, though. And then this is about the using video games with Videogaming Illustrated, the new Conan video game. Is that a picture of the Conan video game? And I wonder how that one came to be, because I think that one changed. It's interesting when you see what they look to in the future and it ends up not being released, or it turns into something else entirely. Too cool. Oh, there it is. Look at this. The Fairchild Channel F hand controller. And I think that means, yeah, there it is. It's showing you how it works. Because at this point, Zircon is trying to sell these units again. Originally, this was 1976 when the Fairchild Channel F came out. And yeah, there it is. And you can use these controllers you can see here for the Atari VCS, Atari Home Computer, and then the VIC-20. Wow. I wonder if anybody had those playing on those systems. All right, let's keep flipping on. Yeah, Brian, I love these time capsules. Here's some more ads for books or magazines like How to Beat Video Games, Scoring Big at Pac-Man, Video Invaders, Pac-Mania, the Family Playbook for Intellivision games, all this that you could read to find out how to be even better at your gaming. Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man Pinball. Wait, here it is. Is this it? The newest member of the Pac-Man family? It is. This is Baby Pac-Man, or the ad for Baby Pac-Man. I wonder if it's before they called it Baby Pac-Man. It's Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man Pinball. Nice. So we'll be seeing that middle of October. All right, and then over here is a few more games. What is Sleepy Hollow? A maze game? What's that one going to be on? Not familiar with that one. It's going to be coming up. So this is like rumors that might appear or might not appear. And then we have a game called where you enjoy building sandcastles. Your joystick controls the child and pail in a sandcastle video game. I've never heard of that one. Swimming Hole, Morosco. Very interesting. Now, I'm curious if these games even came out. Look at that. Roller coaster amusement park game. Are they real? Another ad we've already seen. There's a really young, who is that? Matt Dillon? That's like super young. And then flip it over to the end. And there you go. Magnavox Odyssey 2. The Great Wall Street Fortune Hunt is another one of their big board games / video games. And it really doesn't hit the mark. Quest for the Rings is the way to go. And then Conquest of the World would be next in line. And then Great Wall Street Fortune Hunt is like, bottom of the barrel right there. Ubicore, I don't know if I can answer that question. You need to talk to your parents first. All right, that's all the time we have for Chronologically Gaming for this episode. We are going to be seeing more and more magazines over time, flipping through fairly quickly, seeing making sure we're on the same page with, have we played all the games in the magazine, because every now and then release dates are tricky to come by, but we're doing our best to play everything in order best we can to see the difference in how video games evolve over time. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we got 2 more games released for the Atari VCS, and even more on the Commodore 64. That's it for today, and like I always say, it's still October 1982. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.